everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Adam and Chris Show. I'm St. Adam.
I'm Chris Malice.
And here we are going to talk about probably Chris's favorite genre of movies.
Yeah.
Which is?
Top 10 mafia movies. Mob movies.
All right, so what criteria did you use to come up with this list?
Organized crime has to basically be at the center. There's one movie on this list where it's a cop going after criminals, and there's another two movies on this list where it's an undercover cop. But that undercover cop gets more and more into the mob. But the mob is basically the center of it. And it's different ethnic groups mobs. Irish mob, the Italian mob, or mafia, and so on. So, on with the list?
On with the list. At number 10, what do we have?
Dick Tracy. Because we have to throw something really a little bit different there. Dick Tracy chases after a bunch of gangsters that grew up under power lines.
Whose names match their physical descriptions.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, I remember when this came out through Touchstone Pictures, technically a Disney film. It has the most PG-rated massacre I've ever seen.
That gunfight at the end is crazy.
All the mobsters, except for Big Boy Caprice, get gunned down.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no blood, but the bullets, they're a-flying.
Yep.
But, you know, it's an ensemble cast movie. And who do we have playing the head mafioso?
Al Pacino. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
So, if you look at the Godfather franchise, spoiler alert for the second Godfather, Michael, played by Al Pacino, kills his younger brother, Fredo. James Caan makes a cameo in Dick Tracy, and he gets blown up by Al Pacino. So he killed both his brothers.
You might want to add that in the first Godfather, James Caan played his brother, Sonny.
Yeah.
All right. At number 9.
American Gangster. Denzel Washington plays the legendary crime boss, Frank White, I believe. Frank White. He was famous for bringing heroin in from Vietnam in the caskets of dead soldiers. Eventually, when he got caught, he basically ratted out all the corrupt cops that he paid off after he got caught. Great movie. I believe Ridley Scott directed it, I think.
I honestly can't remember.
Yeah. It's a Ridley Scott movie. Russell Crowe is the cop going after him in it. Great movie.
Russell Crowe and Denzel always play well off each other.
Yes, they do. Well, I hate to say it, Denzel Washington, like or hate the guy, everyone plays off well on him because he's that fucking good.
Very true. All right. At number 8.
The Departed.
The movie that won Scorsese his Oscar.
Yep. The movie that finally got him the Oscar he deserved years ago.
The movie where Jack Nicholson is a mob boss.
You can make that argument about Batman.
Maybe, but
So here's the background. It's actually loosely based on
two different things.
One, an international film called Infernal Affairs, and the story of Whitey Bulger, a Boston-based gangster that was number 1 on the FBI's most wanted list before 9/11. He becomes close. Jack Nicholson's character kind of takes on this young kid who later becomes a high-level...
a very Boston Matt Damon.
Yes, who becomes a high-level detective that's involved with a group investigating him. And he's his informant. Well, Leonardo DiCaprio ends up becoming an informant working within Jack Nicholson's crew. So you have a lot of games of cat and mouse there. And one of the darkest performances from Jack Nicholson, but also one of the funnest.
Very much. You can tell he's everything you love about Jack Nicholson in this. I will say this is the movie that actually made me a DiCaprio fan.
Yeah.
Everything before this, I'm like, oh no, he's just some pretty boy Hollywood guy. He fucking sucks. He can't act. I saw this. I'm like, okay, you won me over.
He won me over with Blood Diamond. But
they came out around the same time.
Yeah, he got nominated for at least 2 Golden Globes for both those movies. Mm-hmm. He's great in it. Huge shocker endings.
Yeah. I remember I'm not going to ruin the ending for anyone, but I remember everyone in the theater like,
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg's got a great
Mark Wahlberg, Alec Baldwin, who else? Martin Sheen. I mean, you got a great cast of actors in this, and they put in a great performance altogether.
All right.
Definitely a good movie to check out.
Now I'm going to bring up one of my favorites that don't get talked about, The Iceman, with
and we're not talking about Vanilla Ice.
With Michael Shannon. That's his name, right?
Michael Shannon.
It's a movie about the contract killer that was interviewed by
Walter
Kuklinski.
It's like such
he was at one point interviewed for a documentary series on HBO called Interview with a Hitman.
Yeah.
He is famous for using ice to be able to hide the amount of time it took from when the body was murdered to when the body was found.
Well, not only that, but they called him the Iceman because you watch those interviews, he's just emotionless.
Yes.
He talks about these killings like you would talk about how your day at work went or what kind of dinner you had.
Except when he felt really guilty for kicking in that door. Because it's a really nice door.
Well,
and when he was at the gay bar, he was very politically correct describing it.
Well, but also remember when, in that, he talks about the impact it had on his family. That's the only time you actually saw him get choked up.
Yeah.
But Michael Shannon plays this character, plays him very well.
Scary, terrifying. How good he is in this. And Chris Evans has got a spot in it too.
So is James Franco.
Mm-hmm. Great movie. Great movie.
You can probably find it on Netflix is the last place I saw it.
If you find it at Walmart for $5, it's an instant pickup. It's one of my favorite films. At least my top 50. All right. Number 5?
You're asking me or telling me? It's number 6.
Number 6, Donnie Brasco. Al Pacino, Johnny Depp. I wonder if either one of these guys are going to be on this list more than once.
I wonder if either one of these guys had the unfortunate experience of working with Adam Sandler on Jack and Jill.
Oh, Jesus. Let's not fucking taint Al Pacino's legacy, man.
Johnny Depp was there, too.
Yeah, he was on the set of Jack and Jill?
Yeah, they were sitting together at a basketball game.
Oh, my God.
No, this is about mafia movies.
All right.
Let's not talk about that.
Donnie Brasco is a movie about a undercover cop that infiltrates a group of involved with Michael Madsen.
There
of course,
you go.
playing the lead gangster, Sonny. He gets involved in the mob, but he becomes friends with a guy who puts in a word for him, played by Al Pacino, and those two are always running around together. Dark movie, very realistic, great movie. One of the best undercover cop movies you'll ever see. And I say it's one of Johnny Depp's best films.
It's definitely one that tends to get looked over more and more.
Yes.
Or I'm sorry, overlooked more and more.
Which is a shame. But there's Pacino and Depp. We're not done with either one of those two on this countdown yet.
No, we're not. All right. At number 5, The Kitchen.
Great movie. Female gangsters. Here we go. Melissa McCarthy, Tiffany Haddish, and she was just in Invisible Man, Elizabeth Moss. All three are married to gangsters, and eventually their husbands go to jail, and they pick up the criminal empire after they've left them. And they start to actually run the mob. Well, eventually, what happens in that corner, they deal with outsiders, and then their husbands kind of want to get back at them for, taking over. I think it's the best Melissa McCarthy movie. Tiffany Haddish is tough as fuck in it. Awesome movie. Highly recommend it. It proves that Melissa McCarthy is a actress. We already knew Elizabeth Moss was, but Melissa McCarthy went past being just a bunch of goofy jokes in that movie.
Right. She shows her acting chops in this. At number 4,
Road to Perdition.
And another movie that tends to get overlooked, and it's a comic book film.
Yep. Where do we start with this? Tom Hanks.
That's how it starts.
He's appears to be a normal family man, but his father figure is a gangster. He works exclusively for this gangster. He's going to do a job, and he ends up taking out these two people that worked for Paul Newman, his father figure, and he ends up killing them, and it turns out that Paul Newman's son's been ripping them off. Well, Newman's son eventually goes and attacks Tom Hanks' family, killing his son and his mother, his son and his wife, leaving him with his other son. And from then on, they're on the run. They're on the run, and they're trying to get back at Paul Newman.
Yeah, but they're being hunted by
Jude Law,
who does a great job in this film.
Absolutely,
as a hitman.
Yeah, absolutely creepy ass hitman.
He likes to take pictures of his victims.
I think it's my favorite Tom Hanks movie, hands down. I think it's his best role. Paul Newman's great in it. It's the Irish Mob. Completely overlooked. Absolutely criminally overlooked. Criminally overlooked.
I see what you did there. All right. At number 3.
Remember how we said Johnny Depp was going to be on this list again? Let's talk about what I think is his best film. And it's now the one movie I think that he's done that he gets completely overlooked in. Black Mass. Remember how we talked about The Departed? Well, this movie's based on the gangster that Jack Nicholson's character was based on.
So this is actually based on Whitey Bulger.
It's about his rise into the criminal empire. Johnny Depp is scary, creepy, uncomfortable. How the fuck he didn't get nominated for this for an Academy Award? And Jack Sparrow, I know that's going to burn some people, but it is you can make the apartment the
apartment?
You can make the argument.
I'll make the apartment
that is his best role. He really went above and beyond as an actor in it. Johnny Depp is a man that women, as soon as you say his name, you got to get a fucking mop afterwards because they get moist as hell. In this movie, he makes any woman uncomfortable. He'll scare the shit out of you.
You also get a chance to see what Johnny Depp looks like, blonde and blue-eyed.
Yeah.
Which I didn't pick up on right away because I'm sitting there going, something doesn't look right about Johnny in this film. And my wife and I are both watching, and we're like, what? And I'm like, blue eyes. That's what, it just throws his whole face off.
Yep. Great movie.
All right. Number 2.
Oh, this is a lot of people's number 1 film of all time. I come from a family. It's The Godfather. I mean, what more can be said about one of the greatest films ever made? Francis Ford Coppola's masterpiece.
It helped put, in my opinion, Pacino on the map.
Duvall.
Later
De Niro in the second one.
Yeah, well, I don't know which one you're referring. I thought we were going with the first one.
We're going with the first one.
All right,
but De Niro played.
And of course, Marlon Brando puts in a great performance.
It actually put a lot more pep back into his career. It's a movie about 3 brothers that are raised, actually I think 3 brothers and a sister that are raised in a criminal empire family, and Marlon Brando's the Godfather. Sonny Corleone, of course, is the hothead, who is
played by James
Caan. He's the hothead that flips out all the time, and he's set to take over the empire. Then there's Fredo Corleone. We'll talk about him if we ever talk about the second one. And then Michael, who's a veteran of World War II veteran, I believe. And his father does not want him to take on this to be a part of the criminal family.
But it shows Michael's rise to power.
Yep, after Vito gets terribly wounded.
All right. And so that leaves us with our number 1 movie. It can only be
fucking Goodfellas. Okay. I know we're already going to get probably some people going, hey, Goodfellas over Godfather, and then some people being like, yes, Goodfellas over Godfather. Fucking Goodfellas. The story about legendary.
Fucking Goodfellas.
It's one of the most memorable movies, one of the most quoted movies. It's
the Joe Pesci performance you think of.
Yep.
And how he went from being the psychopath in this movie to being beaten up by Macaulay Culkin is hilarious.
Yeah. Ray Liotta plays Henry Hill, who grows up to become a well-known, prominent gangster that works with made men and eventually rats on all of them.
Scorsese, again, directs this.
Yep. Paul Sorvino, Mina Sorvino's dad, a very scary individual who's probably hunting for a producer that used to work with his daughter.
De Niro.
De Niro. It goes from, what was it, the late 70s to about the early 80s, I think?
Something like that. Long movie, but worth it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely worth it.
Very quotable and memeable. Like, how many Goodfellas memes are out there on Facebook?
Oh, tons. I believe this movie never got Best Picture.
Which is a shame.
This and Shawshank Redemption are the two biggest Oscar snubs and probably of all time. You can make that argument.
Yeah, you really could. Good soundtrack, good everything. To me, it's definitely, I mean, even given Godfather's on this list, it is definitely the movie that my mind goes to when I think of this stuff.
When you think of great films, you think of Godfather. But when you think of great mob films, everyone will think of Goodfellas.
It's so popular, Animaniacs did a parody of it. And not just like a little short, it was a whole running thing. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. The 10 best mafia movies, mob movies, according to Chris and I. Did we leave anything out? Do you disagree? Do you agree? Let us know in the comments section. Do you want to recommend anything?
I'm going to recommend that you see Black Mass. You will see Goodfellas, but Black Mass is so goddamn good. It's Black Mass and Iceman are definitely the two on this list that you're not going to be exposed to, and I think you should. I heavily recommend. You will see Goodfellas.
I'm going to say watch Dick Tracy, and show the kids the most rated PG slaughter of all times.
Yep.
All right. Well, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Share this video around. Some people may love it. Some people may tell you, hey, they forgot this, and that's why we have the comments section. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're talking Facebook, Twitter, and the eventual Instagram. From the Adam Chris Show, I'm St. Adam.
And I'm Chris Malice.
See you around.